Yeah, very good. It is. Let's record it.
والسلام على رسوله الكريم وعلى آله وأصحابه أجمعين. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. I began in the name of the Almighty, and I ask Him to send His peace, to send His blessings upon His messenger, the Prophet Muhammad, and upon his family, and upon his noble companions. Good evening. My name is Umar Rahman, and I'll be your MC for the evening. And I am the last thing that stands between you and dinner for the next hour. I want to thank you all for coming out today for tonight's event. And the purpose of tonight's event they really have three parts to them. First and foremost, it's as an outreach event. You know, it's to let everyone know that Muslims, they're not what you see on TV. You know, we're not fundamentalist, hijacker, terrorist, bombing, crazy people. Because if all you knew about Muslims was what you saw on TV, I mean, you'd be scared of them. If all I knew, you know, sometimes I watch the news, and then, you know, I'll look at my phone and I'll get really scared. I was like, oh wait, I'm just taking a selfie. I think it took the plus 20 crowd a little. But that is not the messenger. There's someone who's still confused back there. But that is not the message of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. He was sent as a mercy to mankind, and he was sent in order to perfect good character. So the first aspect of this is just as an outreach event. Secondly, it's to inform you about Islam, and specifically to inform you about the Muslim students in your districts, in universities, in your schools. So we're going to talk about how we can work together as partners, both as partners and as stakeholders for the benefit of our students. And finally, it's to open the door for further dialogue, where we can have something else in the future, sharing best practices and, you know, just opening those lines of communication. So as I said, today's program is about an hour long, and we are pressed for time, so I'm going to try and keep our speakers in check. So we'll open with the recitation of the Holy Quran, and I'll do that in just a second. Then we'll have a welcome from the president of the mosque here, Brother Shaykh Qadri. After that, our resident scholar, Sheikh Rizwan, will talk a little bit about the Muslim students and what we can do, what specific challenges they may face in school, and what we can do to help them. After that, we have some plaques, some thank yous we'd like to present, and then we'll move on to the gym in order to observe the evening prayer and to have dinner. So we'll begin this evening with the recitation of the Holy Quran. I would like to invite Abdul Ahad, a sophomore at a local university, to recite a few verses.
السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. يا أيها الذين آمنوا كتب عليكم الصيام كما كتب على الذين من قبلكم لعلكم تتقون أياما معدودات فمن كان منكم مريضا أو على سفر فعدة من أيام أخر وعلى الذين يطيقونه فدية طعام مسكين فمن تطوع خيرا فهو خير له وأن تصوموا خير لكم إن كنتم تعلمون شهر رمضان الذي أنزل فيه القرآن هدى للناس وبينات من الهدى والفرقان فمن شهد منكم الشهر فليصم ومن كان مريضا أو على سفر فعدة من أيام أخر يريد الله بكم اليسر ولا يريد بكم العسر ولتكملوا العدة ولتكبروا الله على ما هداكم ولعلكم تشكرون. صدق الله العظيم.
Thank you, Allah. In translation, he recited from the second chapter of the Quran, the cow. In translation, O you who believe, decreed upon you is fasting as it was decreed upon those before you, that you may become righteous. Fasting is prescribed for a limited number of days. So whoever among you is ill or on a journey during them, then an equal number of days are to be made up. And upon those who are able to fast, but with hardship, a ransom as a substitute is of a feeding of the poor for each day that is missed. And whoever fasts despite the hardship, it is better for you if only you knew. The month of Ramadan is that in which the Quran was revealed as a guidance for the people and clear proofs of guidance and the criterion. So whoever sights the new moon of the month, let him fast it. And whoever is ill or on a journey, then an equal number of other days shall be fasted. Allah intends for you ease and does not intend for you hardship, and wants for you to complete the pure period and glorify God for that to which He has guided you, that perhaps you will be grateful. So these verses that he recited contain the decree for fasting, and Sheikh Ridwan will touch on those in just a few minutes. But with that, I'd like to invite the president of ICN, Brother Shoaib Qadri, to say a few words of welcome.
In the name of God, most compassionate, most merciful. On behalf of the Islamic Center of Naperville, I'd like to extend a warm welcome to all of you with the beautiful Islamic greeting, Assalamu alaikum, which means peace be upon you. As some of you may be aware, the Islamic Center of Naperville is one of the largest Muslim communities in the Chicagoland area, with over 3,500 families from Naperville and the surrounding areas here. And we've seen a tremendous growth in the past 10 years, and a single biggest attraction for people to move to this area is the high caliber of the schools out here. And for that, we'd like to thank you educators for that high caliber of education. We are indeed honored to have here Dr. Brophy, President of Benedictine University, superintendents from 3 school districts, and board members from the school districts as well. Now, since our children spend a significant part of their growing years in your schools and colleges, we look to you, our educators, to provide more than high quality education. We look to you to provide an environment that helps them build self-confidence, helps them maintain their identities, and help them be productive members of society. So I'd like to take this opportunity to thank and recognize institutions that have already been supportive of us. Benedictine University has a very active Muslim Students Association, and I know personally, with many students going there, that the staff, the administration has been extremely supportive. I'd like to thank you for that. School District 204 has a very active Parent Diversity Advisory Council that promotes diversity. In fact, this event today started off as a PDAC initiative, and I'd like to thank Seli Joshi, the co-chair of PDAC, and Rahman Khan, our ICN liaison for PDAC, and thank you for all your help in helping us plan this event. And school districts 129 and 308, you've seen a new growth of Muslim students in your community, and we've seen you being increasingly accommodating to them. I'd like to thank you for that. Now, with changing times come a new set of challenges, especially in light of this horrific incident that happened in Orlando a few days ago. As mentioned on the ICN website, and also on a joint statement by all major Muslim organizations and scholars across the nation, we strongly condemn this despicable act of violence, and we send our deepest condolences to the families of the victims. But sadly, the victimization extends beyond Orlando. For the actions of a single mentally deranged, misguided individual, the entire Muslim community gets maligned, in spite of the fact that his motivation had nothing to do with religion. It is at times like this that we look for you educators to provide an environment where students of different religions, different races, different ethnic backgrounds can come together in solidarity to overcome hate and intolerance, to make this a more healthy and safe community for everybody. I'd like to thank you once again, and God bless.
Thank you, Brother Shrib. Next, I'd like to invite up Sheikh Rizwan Ali. Sheikh Rizwan is our resident scholar here at the Islamic Center of Naperville. He was raised in Naperville and is a graduate of Benedictine University. In addition to that, he completed his master's in curriculum and instruction from St. Xavier University, and concurrently, while he was doing his master's, he went ahead and got his bachelor's in Sharia in Islamic law from Al-Azhar University in Cairo. And currently, like I said, he serves as our imam and the director of our religious education. So with that, Sheikh Rizwan.
In the name of Allah, the most gracious, the most merciful, I greet you all with Islamic greeting of Assalamu alaikum. Peace be upon each and every one of you. I'm going to be talking about two things. One is that the month of Ramadan, what are some of the practices that we do, and what are the goals that we want to accomplish throughout this month. And then I'm going to talk about some of the challenges that some of the students attending the schools may face. First thing is that we know that Ramadan is the month in which Muslims, they fast from a little bit before sunrise until sunset, right? So that's right now, I think if you want to ask some of the students, they'll tell you exactly how many hours and how many minutes and how many seconds. So it's about 15 hours right now. And 17. Okay. I think I'm 2 hours late or something. So you see that what we learn from this is a very important lesson, which is the importance of God consciousness. Right? Always be aware of God. Always understand that you're in the presence of God. God sees everything. He hears everything. He knows everything. He expects the best from you. Even if no one is saying, like if I was on my car on the way here, right? I actually did have Hershey Kisses in my car right next to me, right? And the kids are in the car. So what prevented me from eating that on the way here? The awareness that God was watching. And that sincerity, right? And we live in a world that if people don't recognize something, if I don't get an Instagram like or a Twitter like or a Facebook like, it's as if it doesn't exist. So this concept of sincerity, that I need to do what's right, whether people notice it or not, but because that's what God expects from me. Another very important lesson that fasting teaches us, which the world needs more of, is empathy. Right? In less than 45 minutes now, we're going to sit, we're going to break our fast, we'll have some dates, we'll have some water, and then we'll pray, and then we'll have a really nice dinner. There are many people all across the world, from various faith-based backgrounds, or some people who may not even have faith, that don't have anything to eat, anything to wear, a place to sleep. They have nothing. So fasting makes us understand that things are greater than us, right? We have a greater responsibility to feel for others, to help others, and to make the world a better place. And one of the things I feel honored to be in the presence of educators, because the most empathetic people in the world, in my opinion, as an educator, I can say this as well, are educators. Because they feel, they go beyond. their own selves, right? They can be going into corporate America, they can go into many different fields and make a lot of money, but they go into education because they have a higher purpose, which is to help people. So some of the challenges that some of our students are facing, and just some of the ways that we can try to help each other accommodate those, is number one is to show an interest. And all of you, just being here today, it makes a big difference. After the Orlando shooting, we had people, adults, who were scared to go into their workplace because of that, the widespread rhetoric and blaming of Muslims and all of these things. Imagine a 14-year-old kid, 15-year-old kid, who might be going into school. How do you think he feels? And one of the things that schools can do, and is that, and I know we did this at Oswego, I think that's 308, is a principal, he met with the MSA. And he said, look, we're not blaming you. Whatever people may be saying on the media and different avenues, that's not our perspective. We love each and every one of you, we respect you, and we want you to be proud of your faith, and this is something that every student came up to me, from the school, and I was there too, they loved that. They honored that, they respected that. They felt like, you know what, I feel safe in this school. And we all know Maslow's hierarchy of needs. If there's no mental safety, if there's no peace, the physiological needs are not met, the education won't take place. If a student doesn't feel safe, that's why our schools have to be places of safe environments, right? Another thing is that, I just got a note from a sister, and when I was going to talk about this anyway, but it gave me the understanding that we need to have more dialogue and discussion. She said, please address the issue that women were not shaking hands with men for a specific reason. Right? It's a religious reason. And this is something that we need to understand and respect, that we have different practices. And then another issue comes, that you will find a very wide spectrum. You will find some people that will shake hands. You will find some people that won't. But as schools, as educators, we need to be able to try to understand that and to appreciate the differences, because it's our differences that make us unique. I was just in Egypt for about 6 weeks, a little more than 6 weeks. And I missed home. I missed home. Why? Because there you have the people all around you, the same culture, same background, same language. But when you're here, right, if you look at even our own center, the people that are sitting here are from different backgrounds, different ethnicities, different perspectives, that collectively we add to the whole. Right? And this is what makes our country unique, and this is what makes our country great. So even within our schools, there may be people with different practices, but we need to learn to appreciate them and respect them as well. Another issue that sometimes we face is the issue of prayer. Our students who go to schools in the winter, the prayer time comes within the day. And some of them, they feel mental stress about not being able to pray during the school day because of their classes and their schedules. So, and some of the schools are aware of this and they try to schedule the students' lunch break during this time. Others, they try to give the students accommodation, 5 minutes here between passing periods. If you're a little bit late, that's okay. And that's part of our responsibility, is to tell the students not to abuse that as well. So it's just giving them this understanding that I know you need to pray. There was another incident that we had recently that one of the schools, they weren't aware of this. So the student, I asked him, right? And he's like, shh, don't tell my dad, I can't pray at school. I said, why not? He's like, I'm just too shy to go and talk to the counselor or to the administration about this. So I said, go ahead and talk to them. Look, I went to Gumbarros for a little bit, and they were very accommodating. Many students are very accommodated by this. He went, and he's like, the next day I saw him at the mosque, he had a wide smile on his face. I was like, what's going on? He's like, you know what, I went, and I was just shy. I went and I spoke with them, and they said, yeah, don't worry, you can pray. This team of passing periods, and next semester or next year we'll try to accommodate that during lunch. So just that awareness that, this has to be open dialogue. If you need to pray, we respect that, and we'll give you time to do that as well. And I know Benedictine, this is something that they do. They have a specific prayer place, which the Muslims appreciate. I think when I was there from 2003, I think we had it in Founders, and now they moved it, but it's something which we really appreciate. Another thing is that in terms of our dietary restrictions, this is another challenge that sometimes we face. And sometimes you may see students, not a big thing, but just that sense of caring. I know in Benedictine, I would invite food from the cafes, right, when I was there. But when I saw they had a halal food there, I was like, you know what, as president of MSA, I was like, I need to buy it. I need to encourage people to buy it because this shows that we're valued. It's something which we may think is something minute and insignificant, but it's something that shows value. And Muslim students, they really appreciated that as well. Another thing is sometimes our practices between genders, right? Gender relationships and things like that, such as events like prom, dances, and these type of things. You will have some Muslims that will participate, and many of them will abstain. So just the awareness that don't make comments which can be seen offensive to people, to the students. I remember what happened. One of our students, he came up to me, and he's like, and he was, they were joking about it, but you could tell it had an impact on him. He said one of his coaches to ask him why he's not going to the dance. And he was shy to tell him because, he doesn't, date, he doesn't go out with girls and stuff because of religious reasons. So the coach just made a remark. Why? Because you couldn't get a date? No girl will go out with you? And he's just like, he was mentioning, and then, our kids are kids. They're like, that's probably true. But that had an impact on him. And I'm sure the coach, if he knew that there was a religious reason behind it and he was trying to practice his faith, he would have made that statement. But it's our responsibility as educators to have this conversation. That don't, try to put down, and sometimes the words that we use can have an impact on our students. And this is common in some of our social studies, English classes. So we need to be aware of the current environment and be aware of how to speak to people. I see Dr. Mukula there. Dr. Mukula, she was my professor at Benedictine. She was my advisor. She even attended my wedding, right? So when I see that, and this, honestly, her and Dr. Gaddis, they inspired me to go into education. Because I saw that through dialogue and discussion, we can break down a lot of the barriers that we face. Right? And I went to Benedictine, and I'll always be indebted to Benedictine. Right? Main reason is I found my wife there. So this is something that I've seen in the potential of us having this dialogue and discussion, is that whenever some of these things happen, let's say a person from a different background than Islam goes and does an act of terrorism, of violence, so how do we respond? We don't talk about the religion. Because every experience, or most of the experiences that we've had with people from outside the Islamic faith has been very positive, very kind, very generous, right? So is it fair for us to blame the people outside of our faith for these type of actions? No. So similarly, I think the more we have dialogue, discussion, and share best practices, the more we'll all feel comfortable, the more we'll all grow, and the more we'll all contribute to making this a better place, and we'll have a better working relationship. And as I get older, right, I'm understanding it's not about us. It's not about us. I have 3 daughters, right, 7, 4, and 1. I don't want them to be afraid to go out and to show their Muslim identity. When they grow older, if they choose to wear the hijab, the headscarf, I don't want them to fear. So we have a very, very big responsibility, and I hope that we can all be part of the solution of accepting each other, loving each other, and working towards progress rather than being part of the problem. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you, Sheikh Khan. With that, I'd like to invite our President, Sheikh Qadhi, back up here. Present a few plaques and awards, and I'd also like to invite Brother Kareem Irfan, a past president of the CIOBC, the Council of Islamic Organizations, and a practicing lawyer, up to say a few words about Benedictine University. You didn't think you would come without speaking, did you?
Assalamu alaikum and greetings to all of you. I'm not officially a part of this program. I'm just honored to be a part of what this Islamic Center of Naperville and this new generation of leaders are doing in representing what not just the Muslim American community stands for, but what the rich tapestry of American society stands for. So a shout out to you, Shoaib, and everybody out here. A round of applause, please. This is tell you from representing the Muslim community across the nation, these are tough times. And it's not easy to be out there standing up for your principles and saying all the right things and hopefully with the divine guidance that we all pray for, implementing all the right things. So thank you for giving me this honor. I am reading out this plaque of appreciation the Islamic Center of Naperville presented to Benedictine University in appreciation of your support of our core values, tolerance, justice, peace, and progress. And we would like to invite Dr. Brophy to come up and receive this and say a few words. He is doing a tremendous job in filling the huge footsteps that were left by your predecessor, Dr. Bill Carroll, who was just phenomenal. And I say this again of him, Michael, if I may, that with all the interfaith work that I've been privileged to do across the country and in different parts of the world, he stands amongst some of those who are able to see further down the horizon. And it's such an inspiration to see Dr. Brophy come in and step up and pick up the ball and go running with it. And we appreciate the work that you're doing tremendously out there. And our MSA students and all the Muslim students and all the students of other faiths there truly appreciate it. We are honored that you're here, and the Islamic Center of Naperville is privileged to recognize you and Benedictine University.
Thank you. On behalf of the university, please know how grateful we are for this recognition. We are many things, are we not, to our students. We're a fine Catholic university that has a Benedictine tradition of hospitality. We are a Catholic university that in the 21st century tries to meet students of all faiths through working towards human dignity, the dignity of the person. We're very proud of our students, some of whom are here tonight, and some of whom are taking summer courses, I understand. Apparently, after hearing our alum speak, we are also a great matchmaker university. Is this right? Two things. One, the word empathy, I think, was mentioned earlier, and yes, I was very grateful to pick up the mantle last August and join the community. But there are things that happen right when you begin to realize what commitments are really about. And our commitment to our Muslim students is deep. We are the Catholic university across the country that has the highest percentage of Muslim students on our campus. We are a national leader. And for me, it really came home in December when there was unfortunately a time coming out of San Bernardino where our students going into finals, well, that's going into finals week, had to drive around DuPage County and feel what they felt. I don't know what that feels like, do I? But I know we knew that they felt that. And to our Christian students, great credit. They came together with our Muslim students. I think it was the Thursday before finals week. And it was an hour and a half. And I'd like to tell you it was a beautiful, gentle conversation. It was not. People needed to speak their mind. But it was an entirely empathetic conversation. And it was, and to close, it was at that moment that I realized that we needed to make a further commitment to our students. So for those in the community here, you'll be very happy to know within the next week we'll be announcing the appointment of a full-time staff member who will serve as a Muslim faith advisor to our students, to our faculty, and to me, because I'm still a rookie. Thank you so much for, again, honoring the university tonight, and we look forward to seeing everyone later when we break fast. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Brophy. I'd like to invite President Shrey back up here. Next up, I would like to invite Dr. Craig back up here. Dr. Jeffrey Craig is now the superintendent of Westeros. You can come on. Is now the superintendent of Westeros School District 129. He used to be the principal of Oswego East High School where I graduated, so it was usually the other way around. I was sitting down there. The plaque reads, Islamic Center of Naperville presents to School District 129 in appreciation of your support of our core values of tolerance, justice, peace, and progress. Dr. Perry.
Thank you. It's gotten bigger since the last time we started. It's pretty scary. I'm very honored and humbled to be a part of this tonight. And part of this plaque and part of what we've heard is talking about empathy and talking about tolerance. And I think we're beyond tolerance. We're creating understanding by building relationships. And I think those relationships takes a lot of hard work. But it has to be something we transcend through all of our students and through all of our community, whether it's faith-based or cultural-based or language-based. I know that all of my counterparts, we speak multiple languages and have multiple cultures in our district that we not only have to be tolerant of, but we have to build relationships and extend our hands as you have tonight. And I am grateful for the opportunity and I appreciate the invitation. And I'm very humbled by the opportunity to be with you tonight and receive this. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Perry. I would like to invite up Dr. John Sparlin, Superintendent of Schools over in Oswego School District 308. He's been superintendent since 2012. The plaque reads, "The Islamic Center of Naperville presents to School District 308 in appreciation of your support of our core values of tolerance, justice, peace, and progress."
Well, thank you very much. On behalf of School District 308, I appreciate the honor of being here this evening. I am the actual incoming superintendent of 308, so I appreciate those extra 4 years. and that's great. You know, as I was thinking about this, between the three public school superintendents here, we represent over 60,000 students. And representing 60,000 students, multiple communities, and very, very diverse. I thank you for the opportunity to be here this evening. It's very important. I think when we all come together at events such as this, and we collaborate, and as I say, come together, I think we're all better off for it. So again, I thank you for being here. It's a pleasure and honor to be here. Thanks.
Thank you. Next, I'd like to invite Dr. Karen Sullivan, Superintendent of Schools over at Indian Prairie School District 204. The plaque reads, "Islamic Center of Naperville presents to the Indian Prairie School District 204 in appreciation of your support of our core values of tolerance, justice, peace, and progress."
All right, I want to thank you for this honor and for inviting us here this evening. I was asked to speak a little bit about our Parent Diversity Advisory Council, so I'll do that. Back in 2002, some very wise leaders at the time at Indian Prairie asked a group of parents to come in and talk to them. They were recognizing the increasing diversity of our students and asked parents from all areas of the community to come together and share their concerns. And out of that meeting grew the Parent Diversity Advisory Council, because we had parents who held their hand up and said, "I'll help you with that. We'll help the school district with that." At the time, we've seen the diversity in our community grow. We have over 100 languages that are spoken in our district. Many, many different races, religions, you name it. What I'm most proud of, I think, is the fact that they recognized early on when they talked about diversity that it was a really inclusive concept. It didn't mean just race, it didn't mean just religion. It meant all of those things. It meant disability, it meant gender, it meant socioeconomic status, of course race, religion, etc., but a very inclusive definition of diversity. And we've always said that we think that our diversity makes us stronger as a community. And we've really grown, I think, from our group has done dialogue circles on different topics, simple things like creating our religious calendar so that when we look at when we're scheduling things, that we're avoiding, major holidays for various religions. It's simple things like that, to, more nuanced kind of work that I think they're doing now with PDAC liaisons at all of our schools. And been working the last couple of years on how do we create a more welcoming environment for our students and our families. Whether it's race, whether it's religion, et cetera, and really trying to delve into those topics. So we have a lot of work to do. You only have to know that, and you've talked about the fact that, students are seeing different things on media, they're seeing it on TV, they're hearing it from presidential candidates, that we're going to have to combat when they come into our schools. And it's important that we create that welcoming environment, that we talk about that our differences do make us stronger, and that we need to respect each other and build understanding. So we have a lot more work to do. I think we've made some great progress, but we know that we have more work to do, and we appreciate the hand that you've put out to us to help us with that, and believe me, we will take that hand and ask you to help us as we try to continue our work. So we thank you very much for this honor, and thank you for including so many of us here tonight.
Thank you, Dr. Sullivan. And building off that, we actually have a plaque we'd like to present to the Parent Diversity Advisory Council. So with that, I would like to invite Brother Rahman Khan up. He is the ICN, or the Muslim liaison to Naperville's 204's Parent Diversity Advisory Council.
It really gives me an immense pleasure to read out the sentence in this plaque. After being a part of PDAC community for the last 2 years and working as a PDAC liaison for White Eagle Elementary, with the support of Mr. Cramwell right over here, Mr. White Eagle Elementary Principal, and PTA President Anu Desai. So they have been an awesome support for me in this, throughout my career for the last 2 years. So saying that, I just wanted to personally read this out and give it to Sally as an organization of PDAC. So for the last, this has been, PDAC has been kind of, started to be a kind of day-to-day activity for me. So in the last 2 weeks, it has been like morning 7 a.m. Sally would send me a message. Did you invite him? Yes, we did. He RSVP'd. Did he RSVP'd? And then I replied, yes, we did. And the night time it would be from the Facebook Messenger. Sally would be sending it from a messenger asking, okay, these people replied back. So it has been a really a great support from Sally, with saying that the plaque says, Islamic Center of Naperville, presented to Parent Diversity Advisory Council of IPSD 204 in appreciation of your support of our core values, tolerance, justice, peace, progress. With that, I welcome Sally Josie.
I can't speak after 3 superintendents.
We'll get you afterwards, after the break.
Thank you, Sally. With that, we have a few minutes remaining before, so let me just explain the rest of the program before I invite Chair Rizwan back up. So about 8:20, 8:25 or so, we'll head on over to the gym. We have an area, we have some tables and stuff set out, so we'll sit down there. The breaking of the fast is at 8:31, right on the dot, not a second before, not a second after. That'll be at 8:31, and then we have the sunset prayer that we'll observe after that. So that's the plan going forward. So with that, I'd like to invite Sheikh Rizwan back up for some question and answer, and then a closing prayer.
Yeah, the question and answer part I just found out about, so I was all sad about. So if anybody has any questions, the few minutes that we have left about maybe some practices or anything that you may be wondering about, just please let us know. We have a few minutes to talk about that.
Okay.
Good.
So you mentioned sometimes about students being shy to maybe mention things to staff. What are some things that you would suggest that we could do at our schools to try to help with that?
Okay, very good question, and I meant to speak about this when I was speaking, but if you could let us know, like, what's the process to address grievances or to have situations where, like, if a girl at school gets called a terrorist or something because she's wearing a scarf or insensitive comment, what's the process that we should encourage them to follow? Right? Because if they come here and just talk to 10 people about it, 10 people are going to get angry and upset, there's no positive action, right? So I think we should let the parents know, number one, and let the religious community centers know, because sometimes, like, let's be honest, kids are a little bit shy and hesitant to go to their parents, but they'll come to the youth leaders, they'll come to the imam, they'll come to the religious leaders. So how should we approach that, right? And like, what should we do to make sure, because if we leave it, I remember, let's say, I was doing a student teaching, I think it was at Gary Middle School around in 2005. And one of the students, he called me Bin Laden. Right? I was so angry, but I was like, and then one of the co-teachers is like, just let it go, just let it go. So I was like, look, it's not about me. If it's a middle school student, it's probably 7th grade at that time, and we just let it go, that's going to ruin his life. That hatred, that foolishness, it's ignorance. It wasn't malice. It wasn't malice. When I talked to him later, as soon as I saw him, who it was, I knew it right away. And I was like, I don't want to get mad. I'm student teaching. Should I just let it go, just get my A and just move out? No. But we have a responsibility, right? So the process, we just talk to the principal, talk to the teacher, and at the end of the day, the kids said, I'm sorry, I didn't know the impact that the words had on you. So how do we address that to come to the solution, right? We're not trying to get anybody in trouble. We're not trying to like make anybody's life miserable. We're just trying to make sure that these, at high school, if we don't address these problems then they grow, then they fester, right? And sometimes what's going to happen if we just tell our students to just be quiet, just deal with it, this is life, then they're going to find people on forums and other things online that will say that, no, you're a mosque, they're cowards. Your school, it doesn't care about you. We care about you. And they give that sense of self-respect and identity, which all students crave, and sometimes, unfortunately, they have devious intentions and they try to misguide them. So what we can do is we can talk about what's the process, right? Let us know, and then we can tell our students, like, we've talked to your school, they're aware of your concerns, they're aware that this is happening, and these are the steps and the channels we'll take to address it. It's like a classroom. The first question comes and then, now you try. You're good. I tried to do the 30 seconds between the question and answer. It's just a long time. Any other questions? Or anyone, if they can share some of the practices that you found to be effective in your district, in your classroom, at your university, that, you know what, Muslim students have come up to you and said, you know what, we really appreciate that. Yes?
I would like to actually commend all of you for coming to the PDAC meetings. We always say that everyone has to come to the table. And this entire year, I have seen more and more people from ICN coming to that table. But I also think it's important to move that table around. So it is as important for all of us to be here tonight at a different table and working together. So I think, I guess this is more of a comment than a question, but we would love to see the involvement of students at that table as well. So I'm just wondering if ICN does anything where students in our district can also learn, because we are educating ourselves, and then it is our responsibility as parents to teach these values and to educate our children about some of these issues. But if there is a program here as well that we can bring children that want to learn, that want to share and educate themselves, it'd be wonderful to have that opportunity.
Thank you very much. I think that's a great idea. We've been doing last year, I think we did a couple of times, we've been having open mosque day, which has been very successful because people are so hesitant to even step into a mosque. What's going to happen? Are they going to tell me I'm not wearing a scarf and close it to like this and this? So then we've been opening it up to the community members. Also, there are many world religions classes that visit us. to see they observe a prayer, they take a picture of me just to prove that they're here. So this is something that we can do, but if there's anything that's specific that we can do, please let us know. We're more than willing to do it. We have very active volunteers, Brother Yusuf, Brother Imran, Brother Adil, Brother Shahab, and some of the sisters that go to Wambanzi College, they go to St. Xavier, they go to colleges, world religions classes to hear the perspective of Islam from a Muslim. Yeah, we know what it says in your text, but how does that apply to your daily life? And that's something that is more effective than just reading a theoretical picture of it, because it's a practical aspect of it, right, that we want to look at. But if you have any students, and we'll try to encourage our students to do this as well, if you notice, we are having an increased effort on engagement. Realistically, and this is a fault of our own community for a long time, we've been in the Naperville area since '91. We haven't done enough, and we still need to do a lot more in reaching out, becoming more politically active, in reaching out and being more active. So we're trying to do that, but we have a long way to go. So any ideas that you can give us, that hey, if you guys did this, it would be very effective, we're more than willing to listen. We have the resources, but we just need to know the know-how and the skills to be able to implement this. Yes?
I'd just like to share something that we did at White Eagle Elementary, which was a huge success, and that was a lot of credit goes to Rahman for that. We had a dialogue circle where we invited parents, teachers, and administrators, everybody together on the table, and have an open and honest conversation. And that was our first step, and it was a huge step, because you're sitting on that table and discussing things. We found out that sometimes teachers, they want to help, but they don't know how. So they need to hear from the parents. They don't want to offend anybody. They don't want to step over a line. So they want some guidelines or some feedback from parents as well. And for that, I think we as parents have a responsibility also to make sure that we are present at the table to express our views. And we heard from a few parents, they shared their concerns as well, and the teachers kind of got it from there. They didn't even know about those issues. So I would highly recommend that if at any of those schools those events are happening, we as parents need to be on that table.
Thank you, that's very important. Dialogue and discussion is the key. I remember I was invited to a school in the city, and I think 97% of the students at that school were a minority. They had absolutely no idea about Islam and Muslims. One of the questions that I got is that, why do we worship Muhammad? So we don't worship Muhammad, right? What do you think about people of our race? Right? We love all people, and Islam is not based on race. So sometimes these questions, and the teacher's like, I'm sorry, this is what the environment, I'm saying, no, it's more, I teach high school students as well. It's very hard to offend me, right? So to have these open, honest, candid conversations where we say that, look, if we don't have these conversations, people are going to stick to their misinformation, or, God forbid, their ignorance, and that's going to be more detrimental than being that uncomfortable, awkwardness. That'll pass, and we'll become closer after we have these honest conversations. Yes.
My name is Rahman, and I'm a student at Benedictine University, and I just wanted to comment on curriculum. I remember when I was in Louise High School, and I was in my 9th grade world history class, and we went over the Christian empires, and I looked ahead of my book, and I saw the Islamic empires, and I was so excited to learn about, the empires that were part of my own identity. And then, when the teacher skipped that unit completely, I just remember being so disappointed that this is my opportunity to learn about myself. But here we weren't even addressing it. And then I have one more quick story where I was in another class that was about, armies and the U.S. military and things like that. And we just watched a very inaccurate video. And I remember talking to the teacher about it and telling him, this is really offensive to me. And I found out a lot of the facts in this video weren't true. And he was just completely insensitive to it. So educators and districts could be more sensitive to curriculum and making it more approachable and more factual, inclusive.
Yes.
I would also add, it would be nice if there was like classes at the mosque for different age students. So 204 puts out an email to all the parents and says these are the various activities that are happening throughout the month. And maybe if they were broken up by age groups so that we could bring our children to learn about it firsthand. Like I would have loved to bring my daughter, but I wasn't sure if it was age appropriate. But it would be lovely to bring her so that she understands. She's in a classroom with many Muslims, and for her to understand better, she can talk to them and ask them questions as well. I mean, she's 4, but I figured to start her young, and then if you can do it for the various ages, so that because you can give older students obviously more information because they'll understand more, but maybe open up the mosque if that's possible to the various age groups so that they understand, go through the process of prayer, removing the shoes, and just give us a little more information to bring everyone closer.
I think that's a great idea. And I think that we do have some classes, like if anybody's interested, we do have a Learn Islam class open to everybody on a weekly basis. And just to look how we cater it. I have a 4-year-old daughter, and we're talking about fasting, and Allah loves fasting. She's like, hip hip hooray for Allah. So we'll try to cater it to whatever there's a need. So let us know and we'll try to cater. We do have resources, right? We have a good staff and we have people that are qualified to do this. So if there's a need and you feel like it's productive, then we'll answer that. Okay, we're going to just make a short prayer and then we're going to go and break our fast. In the name of God, the most gracious, the most beneficial, the most merciful, O Allah, guide us to that which is most pleasing to you. Allow our hearts to be filled with your love. Allow us to work together to those things that you love. Allow us to see truth as truth and give us the ability to follow it. Allow us to see falsehood as falsehood and give us the ability to stay away from it. Guide all of our affairs and do not leave us to our own faculties for even the blink of an eye. Amen.
With that, thank you everyone for coming. We get to my favorite part. If you follow the volunteers outside, they'll guide you to the gym, and we have some tables and things like that.
Where is the cat? Yep.